دایی یه فرصت خوب حالا پشت مدافع خداداد عزیزی توی دروازه گل برای ایران خداداد عزیزی باز هم روی زمین گشت سردار بود و توی دروازه بود گل به نام آزمون و برای ایران
بزنه کریم انصاری گل توی دروازه کریم انصاری دروازه پرتغال باز شد
علی دایی سام توپ توی دروازه
اشتباه حرکت از قوچان نژاد فرصت برای قوچان نژاد توی دروازه گل برای ایران.
Welcome back to Bezan podcast. My name is Arya, Allahverdi. Today's episode we're going to preview Iran versus Kenya on March 28th at Allahverdi Stadium. We have Njiru, a Kenyan football journalist who gives us a deep dive into the Kenyan national team. Before that though, we're going to show you the highlights on YouTube of the Iran against Russia friendly match that ended 1-1 at Allahverdi Stadium. Goals coming from Miranchuk and Taremi, both for the penalty spot. Our analysis of the Russia and Kenya matches will come next week, where we'll give you a full analysis of both matches. So stay tuned for that and hope you enjoy the episode.
توپ از دست دادن اجازه به حمله سریع ایران. مهدی طارمی داخل محوطه سر توپو میخواد بزنه و تغییر مسیر بده اونجا. مهدی طارمی که دفاع های صفی یا کنانی زبش رو میزنه به سمت چارچوب و خوبم برگردون تابی و چه پاسی دادن به ایران. طارمی داخل محوطه جریمه بدون برای شهریار مقالو و ضربه پای که پاس رو به عقب بهش داده میشه. یک بار دیگه آنتون زینکوفسکی از صد بازیکن ما رد شد و خطا رو انجام داد. سعید عزت‌اللهی پنالتی رو داد. یانچوک حرکت میکنه زبش رو میزنه و راحت هم میزنه خلاف جهت حرکت بیرانوند. توپو تبدیل به گل کرد تا طرفداری حاضر تو بعدش که اهل روسیه هستن خوشحال باشن از این گل. توپی که برمیگردونه آنتون زینکوفسکی دوباره ملی پوشان ما یه حرکت دروازه‌بان فاصله میگیره از چارچوب. دروازه خالی هست یه افتاده بودن روی دروازه میتونه دروازه روسیه باز بشه. های صفی زباشو با پای چپ میزنه احسان های صفی توپش اشتباه کردم ملی پوشان روسیه. یه موقعیت داخل زمین روسیه فرصت هست برای گل مساوی. دقت توپش با اختلاف بسیار زیادی ترکیب استقلال او رو فیکس تیم ملی هم کرده. یه بار دیگه زاویه به سمت چارچوب واکنش خوبه. یا مهدی طارمی رو می‌بینید اونجا همشهری خودش محبی رو خود محبی نگه داشته برای طارمی میتونه به گل مساوی برسه. خب سلامی دوباره حضور شما دوستان بیننده همراهان. طارمی حرکت میکنه مهدی طارمی و خیلی راحت دروازه رو باز میکنه مهدی طارمی و بازی 1-1 مساوی میشه. ایران 1 روسیه 1. مهدی طارمی اونجا گل میزنه و حلقه شادی ملی پوشان رو با دروازه‌بان 24 ساله تیم ملی روسیه اشتباه که علی گلی زاده خیلی هم بازیکن تکنیکی زاویه بغل پای فنی سعید عزت‌اللهی. یه حرکت پاس عالی بین مدافعان ما دروازه میتونه اونجا تخطی بشه و باز بشه. بیزد خوبم زد مقالو. طارمی توی محوطه جریمه خود طارمی پاس عالی میتونه به گل دوم برسونه. ما رو این پاس اما اشتباه بازیکن روسیه. پاس خوب برای طارمی داخل محوطه جریمه بود ضربه محکم و زاویه بستش رو میزنه. محمد محبی حرکت میکنه خود محبی تو نگه داشته. طارمی توپ میخواد زاویه محبی زده میشه با خطرناک از زدگان ثابت توپ شد. یه ارسال بلند دروازه پاس عالی. طارمی میتونه به گل دوم برسونه. ما رو چیو گل نکرد جبران کرد خداییش جبران کرد محمد محبی و پاس عالی هلو رو تو گلو رو بهش داد. و رضا اسدی 25 برای زکی پور یه ارسال بلند و کاتادوی دروازه وحید امیری رو به عقب فرستاد. طارمی میجنگه و توپ خودش میگیره.
Okay, I'm joined by Njiru, a Kenyan journalist covering all of Kenyan football. Very pleased to have you on Bezan podcast. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you doing, man?
Good. Thanks for coming on the podcast. Let's speak about, first of all, yourself, what kind of work you do for Kenyan football as a journalist. Where can the audience find you on social media and where can they find your work?
So yeah, like you said, I'm a journalist from Nairobi, Kenya. I cover all the sports here in Kenya, from football to rugby to athletics to everything involved. Formula One, okay, the way you guys watch here in Kenya. I've covered things like the World Cup, the Cup of Nations, things like FIFA Congress here and there. So probably I can say I can call myself an international sports journalist because I've covered all those big events, and I'm looking forward to obviously the next couple of seasons and couple of years to do the Africa Cup of Nations, the Euros, the World Cup in 2026. And obviously you can find me on Twitter, that is at Eric Njiru. Same thing with Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. It's the same name across the board.
Perfect. We'll put it in the description down below. You were at the World Cup as well, Qatar. You were covering African teams there. How was that? How was that experience for you?
Oh, that was the best experience. I think I went to one of your games, Iran games. I think the game that you beat Wales. Yeah, I think the experience was quite good. I mean, being able to see all the fans from across the world, because the World Cup was in one place, Doha, so there's not much traveling, there's no booking other flights, there's no booking other hotels. So where you stayed from day one is where you were when Argentina won the World Cup. The experience was quite good. The food, the guys from Qatar, the fans from around the world, the Arab world. I mean, probably that was the best World Cup ever. It was my first World Cup, and I can say I think I chose the best World Cup to attend to make my debut. And obviously, I'm looking forward to the next World Cups, although I don't think it will be the same like the one in Doha, because Doha, we were in the same city. The next one, I have to go to 3 countries and in many cities. And you know, that's obviously expensive for the fans, for the media, for everyone, but we'll try. So I can say the World Cup experience was quite good because it was close to us in our country. I have to go there.
Yeah, it's amazing how they're going to go from being in a city to being in a full continent to in a World Cup.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, but that's FIFA for you. Let's speak about Kenyan national team. Kenya playing against Iran, of course, on the March 28th on Tuesday. This is Kenya's first game since November 2021 for the World Cup qualification. They finished third in the qualification group with 6 points, 1 win, 3 draws. Pretty not too bad for the Kenyan national team. They finished third in the group. Maybe they want to push on and do more. What are the objectives for the national team and the squad that's been called up?
Well, just to give you a background of information is that the reason why we've not played for that long is because we were suspended by FIFA for more than a year, and that's why we came back. I think the suspension was lifted during the World Cup, that is in November 2022. So that was like almost a year after we played our first game. And now, which ideally, this window should be played the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers for the next Cup of Nations. But now, by the time our suspension was lifted, the qualifiers have started. So there's no we could have started playing. And there's no other African team that was available to play. So we had to prepare we had to look for a good opponent. And obviously we found Iran because I think the connections between our coach and Iran, I think that is the reason why we got that. But I think the preparation now has been good. Guys are excited. It's our first game after a long time. People want to see the national team. People want to see the players. People want to see the team that we're playing. I mean, the guys have been in camp now for close to a week now since they came from their clubs. And I can say we've been talking to the players, the manager, to everyone involved. I can say guys are feeling good. I can say we are ready now to play our first game.
Appreciate that information, Eric. Great information there. But also, you brought up one really good point during that little bit there. I completely forgot. Engin Firat, your head coach. He obviously is coached in Iran. He coached for clubs such as Saipa as an assistant. Sepahan, of course, he was the head coach there for a little bit. Saipa, which is probably well-known coach at Saipa. Gostarish as well. But he was also the assistant coach for the national team of Iran in 2007, 2008, under the tutelage of Ali Dai, who was the coach there for a little while. I think that's when he took over from Amir Galinoi, which is the current head coach of the national team. So got some connection there, and as you mentioned, that's probably why they got this friendly. What do you make of that? Is that going to be good for Kenya that he's had that much experience with Iran? Obviously, a long time ago, 2007, but still, he's had a bit of experience with the current kind of group of coaches that are in the country of Iran.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good thing for our team, for Kenya, because look, we're looking for a good opponent, and playing a World Cup squad, I think we've not played a World Cup team in so long. Let's say apart from the African qualifiers when we play friendlies and let's say the World Cup qualifiers, but now playing teams that are out of Africa and the World Cup nations. I mean, it's a good thing. When we spoke to him on Sunday, there was a press conference he held. He said that from now on, he won't be playing teams that are below us. We need to get used to playing teams that are above us in FIFA rankings, and we want to see more teams from their side, from Europe, and I think we'll be seeing that. He was the assistant coach for your team, and I think that's one of the reasons why we got this friendly. And I think ideally we were to play Burundi here in Kenya, and before we were able to secure the friendly. Obviously, securing a friendly game against a team like Iran so quickly, you have to have some connections. And I think that one now is a big plus to us, because let's say if we had another manager, probably could have gotten another small team or not so big team. So I think it's a good thing for the team, because now we have a better opponent than we would have played this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a bit of a test for Kenya, but it's a game that we actually needed as well, because obviously we were going to play against Iraq. They cancelled it, so this is a game that it's an extra game for us. We just played Russia, we drew 1-1, so it's an extra game for Iran. It's our second game after the World Cup, so it's an important game for us as well. Speak to us about the squad then, the squad of the Kenyan national team. Who has been called up? Any young players? Anyone that we should be looking out for?
Well, I think first of all, we have to look forward to our key player right now, our captain, that is Michael Olunga, plays for Al Duhail in Qatar. He's been scoring goals for us since when he was playing in Nairobi, since when he was in high school. I think we schooled at the same time in high school, and then he left. He went away. He went to Girona in La Liga. He went to Japan, now to Qatar. I mean, he should be our key player for that game, so we should look forward to that. And the other player is that we've got a new guy from Norway. He's called Alfred Skriven. He's a new call-up. The coach said that he scouted him, I think, online. He saw a couple of games. He's a Kenyan, so he's trying to give him a chance to prove himself, and probably he can use him in the near future. So that means now, with the new guy coming in, we are going to exclude the local league top scorer who plays for Gor Mahia. He's called Benson Omala. He's been playing well in the local leagues, but I mean, there have been many questions why he's been left out of the squad to go to Iran. I think we'll have a press conference again over the weekend before they depart for Iran, and obviously there should be a press conference in Iran after they arrive. We want to hear and know why did they leave him out, because he's been playing well in the local league. We've not seen the other guy from Norway, but Kenyans are asking, why did you leave him out? So that's one of the key positions. Going to obviously defenders, like you said, is just for Kumu from Ghent, from Belgium. We've got Brian Mandela, who plays in South Africa, and they're playing so well in the CAF Champions League. So that's a solid backrock there for us, and should be a really good performance. This is the return of David Ochieng from Mathare United. There's another guy also called Daniel Anyembe, who plays in Europe. So it's a good squad at the back. Look at the midfielders for us. We've got Richard Odada, who plays for Philadelphia Union. He's been speaking this week, saying that they're motivated to play Iran and they're looking forward to the game. Obviously, they know and appreciate how good Iran are. They went to World Cup, but we've not been there. So they will not just be going there to play for a friendly. They want to give their best and get something. They know obviously FIFA rankings are at stake in this case. We've got a couple of players like Chedi Akumu. We've got players like Abdel Hassan, guys who play in the next country here, Tanzania, Kenneth Muguna, and guys from the local leagues, from clubs like Gor Mahia, AFC Leopard. So it's a balanced squad, and looking that we've got like 3 to 4 years before the World Cup qualifiers, or before we think about the next Africa Cup of Nations. I think it's a good place to start with this kind of players, and you could see more players coming to the team as we move forward.
Yeah, no, it's definitely got some good players in that team. Obviously, you mentioned Olunga, who our defenders will know him. They play in the Qatari League as well, and he's done really well in the Qatari League. He's done really well in the Asian Champions League for many years, for a little bit now. So he's going to be a threat up front for sure. A bit of a test for them to see how they get on. Just a quick one, Victor Wanyama. A lot of Premier League fans will know who that is. Obviously, played in Celtic, where I'm from, near in Scotland. What's happening with him? Is he not in the squad anymore?
So Victor Wanyama, towards the end of 2021, or let's say May last year, he announced that he's going to retire from international football. And remember, he was the highest level player, probably profile player that we have. His brother also, he's got a brother called McDonald Mariga. Mariga won the Champions League with Inter Milan in 2010.
Yeah, of course.
Wanyama is the youngest. But he said he's going to retire. After he said he's going to retire, we got the new sports minister here in Kenya who said he will talk to Wanyama, and he said that he's talked to him and he's agreed to come back to the team. However, when we spoke to the coach, to the manager, I think on Sunday last week, we asked him, we saw the government speak to Victor Wanyama, and Wanyama had announced that he's going to retire from international football. So where is Wanyama standing right now? And the manager told us that as per the last conversation that he had with Victor Wanyama, is that Victor Wanyama had retired from international football and he's not gotten any other information from Victor Wanyama for now. So as it stands now, as per the manager, Wanyama is still in retirement. So unless otherwise happens, for now, what we know from the official now, the manager of the team, is that Wanyama is not part of the team. He retired from the team.
Okay, thanks for that. Okay, let's go to the match then. March 28th, 5 p.m. local time in Tehran, Allahverdi Stadium. Iran against Kenya. What are your thoughts on the game? How do you think it will go? Give us a prediction as well. Thank you.
Well, I think, listen, man, any international game is a tough game for us, and it's a good game for us. Like, we need to get apart from getting the points, it's the experience, and we need to get this thing going. Remember, our coach has not had enough time to, let's say, get his philosophy or the way of playing going. He came, then the band came. I think we played like 2 games after he was assigned. So some of these games are important to us. And this guy who plays for your national team, I think he plays in Portugal. So one of the top scorers, obviously, in European football. And we should be looking forward to that. These are the games that we want. We want to play one of those toughest players in Europe. And I don't think it's a big chance or a better game to play than this one. Most of the Kenyans may not be knowing right now, but when they see him on the pitch, of course, they've seen him in the Champions League and in the Portuguese League. They know how good this guy can be, and that's a good test for us. When we now continue going forward, we want to play bigger teams. I mean, we'll be saying the game that we played against Iran, let's say like a couple of seasons ago, has really helped us now going forward. So for this game, when I spoke to the manager and to a couple of players last weekend, they don't really, let's say, the win may be hard for them to come. It may be hard for them to beat Iran. Iran, I mean, we played a good game against USA. Although you lost 1-0, you beat Wales, you lost to 6-2 to 6-0 or 6-2 to England.
Yeah,
exactly. Right. And it's not like you were that bad in that game. I think England was just brilliant on that day.
We weren't great. We didn't play too good. Let's not give us too much credit for that. But yeah, I appreciate it though.
So I mean, from the performance in the World Cup, you can tell that we're going for a good opponent, and I really wish that you can play you guys again and again. So for Tuesday, when you play you guys, don't expect too much from Kenya, but we're just trying to get our way going, and the guys know they're going there to enjoy, and they know it's a big platform. And when these African teams do play those big teams, they know this is a platform to be seen out there, and they will give their best. I can assure you that.
Fantastic. Looking forward to this match. Prediction then for the match? What are you saying for the score?
Oof. Well, obviously, I would like my team to get points on board. Like, I would like us to, let's say, even if it's a draw, the game is away, we play in Iran. If we get a draw, it will be fine, but I do think it will be tough for us. I mean, I can see Iran winning the game 2-1, but I would like us guys to win or to get the points. But as a journalist where I stand now, I don't care about the result for this team. I want to see how they're playing. I want to see what the coach is doing in this squad. I want to see the future, because we need to qualify for the next Africa Cup of Nations. So if we can get our way of playing well before we go to the Cup of Nations qualifiers, I mean, we can say those friendlies that we played, they have been helping us, and I think we're going forward. So I can say, I think prediction should be 2-1 to Iran, but I think I would like us guys to get a point.
Perfect. I appreciate it, Eric. Again, thanks a lot for coming on. Be sure to check out Eric's work on his social media, and hopefully we'll have you on in the future at some point as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Looking forward to that.
Thanks again to Eric and Njiru for his time. Stay tuned for our next episode as we analyse Iran against Russia and Iran against Kenya, both matches in full. Be sure to follow us on social media at Bezan. Also, you can find us on all podcast platforms and our website, goalbazanpodcast.com. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
name is Masoud Shojai. You are listening to Bezan podcast.